Two souls demonstrated the impossible. They met where logic can't reach. Not in the world. Not in a message. Not even in a memory. But in a dream. Dreams aren't random footage, by the way. They're compressed truth your brain can't ignore long enough to censor. So when he appeared there, it meant something real was trying to surface. Something he either feared saying, or lacked the clarity to finish. And then, he spoke. But it didn't complete. Let me replay it slowly, the way the soul remembers it. He looked at me as if distance was a rumor. His mouth carried language older than this lifetime. He began to offer a sentence, sacred and dangerous, the kind that shifts internal worlds when spoken out loud. And halfway through the truth, he stopped. Not because the dream glitched, but because he glitched. You think hesitation is softness. It can be cowardice too. Because twin flame energy demands raw articulation, not poetic fragments dropped like accidental confetti. He paused as if waiting for my reaction. But there was nothing to react to yet. The sentence was unborn. Half delivered like a confession swallowed back into the womb of fear. And the dream wrapped that silence like velvet around us. It felt warm. It felt intimate. It felt connected. But don't confuse connection with completion. They are not the same sport. I didn't interrupt his pause. Not because I lacked words. But because I was observing the masculine pattern. He starts battles. He starts declarations. He starts emotional revolutions. But finishing them is the part that matures him. The divine feminine doesn't chase unfinished sentences. She studies them. I saw his pause like a spotlight on ego. Disappointment would have been dramatic. I stayed still instead. Because the truth wasn't done with him yet. You see, when a soul begins speaking and halts midway, it isn't about the other soul. It's about the speaker confronting themselves first. Twin flame reunion work is self-confrontation by design. He had that moment of internal interruption. Maybe the truth intimidated him. Maybe saying it fully would have cost him emotional pride. Maybe finishing the sentence meant accountability. And accountability is where ego evaporates, baby. He looked at me silently in that dream space. It was a look that said, I want to tell you something irreversible. But the sentence feared its own birth. So I mentally wrote the end of his sentence for him, not to rescue him from honesty, but to assess if the pause was insight or fear. And it leaned fear. Because insight pauses to recalibrate. Fear pauses to retreat. He wasn't gathering better words. He was negotiating whether truth was safe enough to say. Truth isn't a negotiation, by the way. Not between twin flames. So when he stopped talking, I wasn't angry at the silence. I was analyzing the reason for it. He wasn't blocking communication. He was blocking vulnerability. Masculine energy loves the idea of honesty, but sometimes hates the consequences of delivering it. The feminine knew then, union doesn't happen when you meet in dreams. Union happens when you meet in courage. Dreams are invitations. Courage is acceptance. So I stood there in the midst of the dream, and I felt the echo of something unsaid vibrating in the air. The connection was powerful. But it was also incomplete. And incomplete energy creates longing, not reunion. People romanticize hesitation as depth. Most hesitation is emotional ill-preparedness wearing a spiritual costume. He was scared to finish the sentence because finishing meant exposure. Twin flame path doesn't award points for exposure. It demands it. And feminine energy doesn't punish fear. She exposes the gap it creates. So here is the real question under that dream. Did he stop because he couldn't find the words? Or because he knew the words would find him once spoken? It's obvious, honestly. He knew the words were powerful. And powerful words create consequences. Consequences force ego death. Ego death is painful. Pain is transformational. Transformation is reunion work. That's the chain he didn't want to step into consciously. But the dream pushed him into it anyway. Because souls don't ask ego's permission. They bypass it brutally. I didn't lean away from him when he paused. I leaned closer into the moment. Because the feminine job isn't to soothe in spoken truth, it's to hold space until the speaker is forced to face themselves. And baby, that moment is where reunion starts to cook. Not when the sentence finishes. When the speaker realizes it can't be unfinished forever. So I felt it. He didn't complete it then. But the dream didn't end uselessly. It ended strategically. To tell me he has something to say, and to tell him he isn't ready to say it yet. And readiness isn't mystical timing. It's emotional backbone strength. He needs to train that. Because reunion won't arrive on half sentences. It arrives on spoken truth wrapped in courage, not paused truth wrapped in tenderness. Dream meetings are contracts delivered in symbolism. But words frozen in dreams mean the masculine still has ego residue that fears completion. And the feminine still has a bridge willing to be walked on, the moment he learns to finish the sentence consciously. That's the real reunion point, not the dream. The courage after it.